Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we'll be reviewing the Jeep Gladiator Nighthawk. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Doug Smith Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in American Fork, Utah for giving me some time with this Gladiator. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 3.6-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 22 on the highway. Power outputs are 285 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, the Nighthawk doesn't really change anything from that perspective. Popping down below, it does have the entry-level lights. I do think it's funny with the light. If you look there in the headlight, it's a little Jeep there in the center for the light itself. Anyways, you got the blacked out grille. You've got some blacked out trim there on the bumper, blacked out recovery points. But yeah, I mean, overall, when you just look at the front end, it's a pretty normal looking Gladiator. But popping around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275 by 55 by 20 in the front and over in the rear. And yeah, you get these nice all-terrain tires, blacked out wheels, which Nighthawk, right, blacked out. You can see the blacked out badge there. You do have rock rail protection with this. And if you take it a few steps back, I think that looks pretty cool with the contrast between the black and the metallic gray on this one. And then notice that the top has been painted. And then this leads us to the key fob where we have our lock and unlock function. We got the Jeep logo there on the back. Pretty straightforward. And being a Gladiator means we've got a truck bed. Now the tailgate does lower down very, very slowly. But we do have lights in the bed. And we already have bed liner from the factory, so it's all protected. Don't have to worry about anything. Tailgate is very light. Got the Jeep logo there on the back. Another blacked out recovery point. And that's the rest of the rear. Now inside, it's basically just a sport. So you've got soft touch here on the door panel. And then you can see with the seats, you've got the cloth trim here. Manual window in the rear for the opening there. You do have the kind of like bronze stitching here on the seats. And then window controls in the center with vents as well. But yeah, it's basically just a sport inside. And so that leads us up front where we've got more soft touch. You can see heated mirrors. You got your adjustment for the mirror. And then payload capacity. Weird, 911. Conspiracy payload. Anyways, we've got all of the stitching here. Manual adjustments for the seat. Light controls here. It does have fog lights. And then you got your steering wheel adjustment, also manual. With the steering wheel, more baseline like the Sport package. You do have radio controls on the back. Still have regular cruise control, controls for the center as well. And then you've got turn signal stock and then your windshield wiper stock. This is going to come with a more baseline gauge cluster. So just shows you the little screen in the center with info. The rest of the stuff is all analog. Backup camera in reverse. We do have a zoom function with it. Good resolution. And then infotainment system. Standard with the Gladiators. You do have single zone climate in this. You guys are probably kind of noticing a trend here where it's basically just a fancy looking sport. But yeah, decent in terms of the response time, and overall it's user friendly with the shortcut bar. Got more of that fancy stitching across the dash. It's the grab handle down below. And then you've got a glove box like a Wrangler, so not super big. Analog controls for the radio, single zone climate. Got your auto stop start here with your stability control, and then still has the select speed. So, nice setup. It's always hard to get this to turn back off. All of your window controls, got a little charging area. 4 auxiliary switches, just a regular 2-speed transfer case, so no locking diffs or anything like that. Got a little Gladiator there on top of the shifter head. Some cup holders here with the parking brake. Soft touch here on the center console. USB port there inside, but pretty cool setup. We've got a camera, or not camera, just a regular rear view mirror. Little brain fart there. And then with the top here, it's easy with the latches to take off, but no insulation or anything like that, just a regular hardtop. So here's a quick look at the window sticker. You can see it's built off of a Sport, but Nighthawk package. So it also gives you Sport suspension and Sport rear shock. Ah, they actually are different. thought it was a little bit dubious. But yeah, I mean, you can see it's quite a bit. It's nice. 44,765, so not too crazy with the pricing. Let's see how it performs. I guess I forgot to mention this little storage thing on the dash. It's kind of a nice thing to have, so you could, I don't know, throw your ducks up there. Ah, I said it! So, oh man, I don't know how low this low fuel is, so it's always a question, do I risk it or not? Here, what we'll do is we'll go down here. This parking lot's big. It's very big. It's, in fact, it's huge. It's the hugest parking lot. The greatest parking lot that has ever been. Okay. So, here, we'll see if the suspension feels any different down this. Not really. So, it's like most car manufacturers, they do sport tuned, and it's like, it doesn't change much. It doesn't, yeah, like just, let's go through some more bumps. It feels like a normal Gladiator Sport. Maybe some people will claim that it handles better, but from my perspective, this is good actually. This may be actually a better test on road because the parking lot's gonna be a little beat up. This area over here is swampy, so you get lots of movement in the ground. Yeah, it doesn't, it feels like a normal Gladiator to me. Doesn't feel any sharper, any less sharp or anything like that. Just feels like a Gladiator Sport, which isn't bad. I mean, Gladiators have solid dampening from the factory. So, if you're wondering with the Gladiator how it drives, it's, you know, a solid axle vehicle, solid axles front and rear. And so it's going to be less car-like than the other mid-size pickup trucks. And, I mean, you guys probably saw it first. I'll show you guys again just to demonstrate the V6. It's a pretty, so here's, okay, so stop. You can see it's pretty responsive, being naturally aspirated. And the gear shifts are pretty quick. So it's solid in the mid-size pickup truck segment. The only thing going against this is you now have mid-size pickup trucks with over 400 horsepower, like Ranger Raptor, 405 horsepower. And then you've got mid-size pickup trucks with so much torque too. It's weird that Jeep went from being like, I mean, they've never been crazy in the mid-size pickup truck segment with this Gladiator. This is always kind of a weird vehicle in the segment, but I don't know. Jeep always went from being the crazy brand to now they're kind of normal in a way. I mean, still convertible. Here's another little boom. Yeah, the suspension, I mean, it's nice and firm, but it doesn't, I don't know, I would never call it stiff, and I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't call it sport tuned. They can call it whatever they want, but it seems to me that they might have slightly firmed things up, but it's really hard to see any difference with it. I know, most boring test drive on the planet, but that being said, Nighthawk, if you basically just love the Gladiator, you want something that's a little bit more affordable but still looks cool, and that's one of the biggest problems with the Sport, is it's not that great looking. Let me see if I can find a Wrangler Sport. Got Sahara. Man, they only got fancy pants stuff here. Oh, Rubicon. There we go. There's a Sport. So, I mean, it's got black wheels. They don't look horrible, but it's kind of more of a basic looking vehicle. So having everything like the hardtop painted, having the wheels blacked out. And this one's got, what is it, the fender flares are, yeah, the fender flares are painted too. So everything's nice and painted, so it looks good. It looks like more premium. So I think they did a good job. This is for someone, and I think that's an important market nowadays is for someone who wants the looks, but they don't care about the fancy features. I mean, I'm definitely in that department now. I used to care more about the fancy features, but then once you realize you don't use half of them, and half of them end up breaking after not too long, it's like, oh, what's the point? Might as well Might as well have just had something a little bit more basic and would have gotten the job done just as well. So what do you guys think about the Nighthawk? But I think this is a solid setup for a Gladiator. It gives you the cool looks at a more affordable price. And this ain't too bad in the mid-size pickup truck segment. Because again, Gladiators, like, you have to remember the solid axles do a lot off-road. So like this with these all-terrain tires, it is very capable. Like this is as capable as, you know, a Chevy Trail Boss with its rear. You don't need a rear locking differential in this, frankly. Like this could go just as many places, and probably even more places than you could in a Colorado Trail Boss at a similar price point, and without locking diffs or anything. Just because of the solid axles, because of the articulation, because of the clearances, like they're pretty capable. Let me know your thoughts.